I would like to welcome you all to the 549th meeting of Millennium City Toastmasters Club. Just one meeting short and we'll reach the milestone of 550th meeting. So let us have a big round of applause for the club. Before we get started, I would like to set up some ground rules. As some of you might be knowing, but for the benefit of guests, there are 3 ground rules that we follow. The first one is that you have to put your mobile phone in silent mode. You have 10 seconds, please do so. We do not talk about sex, politics and religion, so refrain from talking or discussing on these topics. And the third, do not cross-talk or move around when the speaker is on the stage. Go outside or come inside only when the transition is happening so that we do not disturb the speaker. As everybody has a mission in their life, likewise, Toastmaster also has a mission. So I would request everyone to please stand up. Let's recite the mission. Put your right hand forward and follow me. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member practice and learn.
Get the
opportunity to practice public speaking and leadership skills.
To practice public speaking and leadership.
Which in turn fosters
self-confidence
and fosters. Thank you. I thought I remembered everything, but it happens. Before we jump on to the panel discussion, as you might be aware, we have a contest today, panel discussion. I would like to start with a warm-up activity, and it is one of my favorite things to do as the presiding officer. By the way, I am also the presiding officer apart from taking up the role of SAR. I would request everyone to please stand up. You just have to follow my instruction. If I say walk, you have to randomly walk. This is the space you have. If I say stop, you have to stop right there. Wherever you are. Clear, right? Let's start. Walk. Stop. Walk. Stop. Walk.
Stop होने की step to be होना.
You just have to stop. Stop. Now let's make a change. I think you all are following the instructions really well. Let's change the direction. If I say walk, you have to actually stop. If I say stop, you have to walk. Okay? So walk. Stop. Stop. Walk. Walk. Stop. Walk. Walk. Stop. Walk. Harjinder, please pay attention. Walk. Stop. Walk. Thank you for participating. Please have a seat. Before we move on to the guest introduction, I would like to mention that I am really glad to announce that we have added 2 new members, Toastmaster Abhishek and Toastmaster Prashant. Let's have a big round of applause. We wish you all the best. You are starting your Toastmaster journey. Now it's time for the guest introduction. I would request guests to share something about them and their expectation from the meeting. Let's start with Sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Harpreet. I am working with Marcus as a 2018 or 19 for a very brief period, and but somehow left after the COVID came in. So so the expectation from the MCTC group is my expectation after joining this group is that basically I want to hone my skills of public speaking and want to increase my vocabulary also so that I can be an effective speaker also in the forums. So that's my.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, this is my second Toastmasters meeting here, and my name is Maya. And my expectations from this club is to speak more confidently, and as you can see, I stammer quite well. So this is I want to reduce.
Hi all. I was at Toastmasters 6 months back. So I have recently relocated from Chennai. My name is Rajesh Sahu. I joined mainly Toastmasters club in Chennai, and I have been in program from last 6 months. So this is my first meeting in program. So as my brother told, you should stammer. I also used to stammer, but it's okay. I have been, I got a couple of best speaker hours and best speaker hours also. So it doesn't matter. And yes, I'm a chapter owner. I work for Semper Green Energy as the MD head. So me, thank you.
Hi everyone, very good morning. Myself Raju Shaw. Actually, I belong from Kolkata. Right now, I am in Gurgaon, just working as a behavioral and communication trainer in BVD technology. So one of my colleagues just joined Toastmaster, and she completed 6 months, and I got to know that this club is very nice and we can improve ourselves. So while training someone and giving some information to someone, we must be improved, right? So that's why I decided to join this club. So that's why this is my first day. So I just came to experience the thing and meet the people, what is happening here, right? That's why after all I will join. Mostly I will join.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are done with the guest introduction. Before we move on to the panel discussion contest, we still have time. So let's see what is your understanding of the theme for the contest. Anybody, anything you would like to share? Yes, Toastmaster.
Like the panel discussion used to see in the various news media, like a set of 4 people are there, and yet some topics on this, everyone says points, and there is one anchor who will manage the entire.
We don't have to be that aggressive, like in
Yeah, no, that is like setting out the point.
I'll share the guidelines, like how much accuracy you can. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Very rightly said. Anybody else would like to add anything? Anything to
My understanding is like in today's discussion, panel discussion, people will probably views on a particular topic, and definitely the person who will moderate the panel discussion depends how it effectively moderate the discussion. But it could be the person who different panelists will talk about their own points. It could be in a paper or in a opposing direction. And maybe but it would be great. I mean, definitely you will monitor with some certain limit of time, and we have seen in the TV sometimes they fight together each other. I want to see the here as well. This is my expectation. But this would be a good opportunity to learn how discussion goes move forward.
Thank you. You are expecting a lot from the panel
This is
discussion.
the first time we are having a discussion, so
We could see a few more guests arriving right now. So I would like to introduce yourself and expectation from you, sir.
present the topics very smoothly. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I am Sandeep and I am living in Sector 52. My expectation from this meeting is to present myself in stage in front of the laptop.
Thank you. I think Toastmaster Prashant and Abhishek shared most of the things that will be happening here, but one question, what would be the participation from the audience? Like, what is their purpose?
Questions and answers.
Audience will also, audience will also get an opportunity to ask some questions.
Yes, yes. That's it. So, I think we'll just be starting in 2 minutes. Anything anybody would like to add?
As per my understanding, panel discussion is pre-planned or it happens on the spot?
You are asking or
I'm asking.
Okay. So it is pre-planned. The topics are already shared. I hope the panelists have prepared well, and the moderator, which is basically me, will be asking questions, and we expect to see good answers from the panelists, and the audience will be able to ask the questions if they want. So let us get started.
Can you share the rules?
Yes, I'm just coming to that.
So, another just so today we will be conducting first time the panel discussion, right? So today we are not going to talk about any table topic.
If we have the time, we might have table topics, but we'll see.
Okay.
It depends. But if we'll have time,
We'll have next time. Okay.
since we just have 2 hours, and we'll try to wrap up within 2 hours. We'll see. But you can ask questions in between. So you can stand up and just ask the questions. Yeah, so coming to the guidelines. During the contest, the moderator will welcome the panelists and introduce the topic. Topics are already shared, but for the benefit of guests and the audience who have not participated, I'll share the topic as well. The panelists will share their views when asked upon different questions related to the topic and different aspects. The moderator will facilitate the discussion and summarize the key points, and at the end, the audience can ask the question. Obviously, relevant question. It's not like topic is something and you're asking some random stuff. So that is not allowed. So be responsible. The winner will be selected through voting, and the weighted scoring will be used like we used last time in the impromptu speech contest. And top 3 winners will receive certificate and gifts. Pay attention, I'm expecting applause. Now, guidelines for the panelists, specifically etiquette for panelists. Share speaking time respectfully. You don't have to just keep on going. Ideally, you can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Ideally, 1 to 2 minutes will be more than enough. If it is exceeding more than 2 minutes, the moderator will interrupt very politely. You can use personal stories, because once you are using personal story, it creates the engagement. And the idea is, if possible, do use personal stories throughout the discussion. And communicate with the respect. You were expecting, some of you were expecting aggressiveness, but for this contest will be really respectful. And I hope the panelists will follow these specific guidelines. And prepare for unexpected questions. The guest or the audience can ask any questions, but it will be related to topics. So it is now time to get started with the first panel. I will request if you have any questions.
How much total time for one topic?
It would be ideally 20-25 minutes, but it depends. If the moderator wants, he can increase the time 5 minutes.
Fixed time.
It's fixed time, 20-25 minutes, but we are doing this for the first time and we really don't know how it will go. So around 20-25 minutes and 3, 4, 5 questions. It depends how well you are and how much time you take to answer the question. Any other questions? Fine. It is time to invite the first panel. I first invite someone who joined in July 2016. He has done BE in Electronics and Communication from University of Rajasthan. He is currently working as Principal Technical Architect at SMP Global. His hobbies include traveling, trekking, news, and current affairs. Let's welcome the very experienced Toastmaster Bhanu. Next, I would like to invite someone who joined in September 2018. He has done Bachelor of Architecture from IP University, Delhi. He is working as an architect at Atkins. His hobbies include music and enjoying learning new things. Let's welcome the very talented Toastmaster Dipanshu. Next in the panel, we have someone who joined in August 2023. He has done MS from Indian Statistical Institute, Gurgaon. He is working with Barclays, and his hobbies include reading books and traveling.
He's not reached.
Our Master Tanmay is not here.
Let me go.
He will have just 5 minutes. Otherwise, he will be disqualified because we already. Because it is prepared and discussion, we cannot have.
Whichever panel is
He wrote in the on the group that he reached better.
Okay, let's start with the second panelist. I'm sorry, guys.
He's here.
Okay, he's here. Let's just wait 2 to 5 minutes. Can't help it. Now let's invite our fourth panelist from panel 1. He is someone who joined in September 2023. He has done BTech and MTech from IIT Kharagpur. He is currently working as an analytics manager at American Express. His hobbies include reading, watching football, playing badminton, and his fitness enthusiasm. Let's welcome Toastmaster Loken. Now the moderator will sit down and start the discussion. Okay, so before we get started, I would like to know the views from the panelists on the topic. By the way, let me reiterate the topic. I forgot to mention it. The topic for panel 1 is artificial intelligence enhancing lives or threatening humanity. So basically the discussion will be on artificial intelligence. I first ask panelists to share their views on the topic. Let's first start with Toastmaster Bhanu. What are your views?
As you all know, technology keeps changing, and any new technology, whenever it comes, there are always apprehensions. When the first Ford car was made, there were many apprehensions, especially because at that time, people were riding horse cart carriages. So people were saying, what will happen to all these carriages? What will happen to the horses? What will happen to the horse cart carriage drivers? But we know, once the cars started getting manufactured, there were so many employment opportunities generated. There are ancillary business, there were repair, there were mechanics. So many people got employed, they got employed. Now, after the evolution of artificial intelligence, just to clarify, it's not a new thing. We have keep seeing that improvement in artificial intelligence. We have machines learning about many tasks which humans can do. and which are kind of repetitive and boring, which can be done by implementing artificial intelligence and machine learning. So as the artificial intelligence and machine learning is getting evolved, we see the benefits out of it. So now we can do a lot of things which are kind of labor intensive as well as repetitive, mundane, which no human wants to do. That can be done within minutes and with precision also. So artificial intelligence is a kind of a boon. We should embrace the technology. We should not resist it. And coming back to the employment and job and all those talks, yeah, of course, we have to evolve. We have to reskill ourselves. We don't have to keep doing the same repetitive tasks which we can outsource to the machines. And we have to learn how to train these machines to do tasks instead of doing those tasks which these machines are doing. That's my view.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhanu. So basically, you are in the favor of artificial intelligence and
Yeah, with the caveats, I will come back to that later.
you also touched upon that artificial intelligence is nothing new. It has been happening for a really long time. It's just right now we are seeing the huge impact of artificial intelligence. I will now ask Toastmaster Dimanshu to share his piece.
Just to reiterate what Toastmaster Mani said, I completely believe that artificial intelligence is right now enhancing our lives and will keep on doing it in the future. An example of that would be that in my last year I had to write thesis in architecture, and usually a thesis is around 300 pages with we have 1,000 days to complete it. In those 1,000 days, most of our time before ChatGPT and other AI tools used to go just paraphrasing the same things, working on the grammar, writing stuff. Right now, this time, our research in the college went to the highest level because most of the time was that used to go in the base of just looking at the grammars, or the time that we used to go just paraphrasing the same thing again and again. We spent that time on the research, put that into ChatGPT, and they made a paragraph for us. That really saved time, and I have seen that the level of research has gone really well. This is just one example how AI is enhancing my life and most people in the profession like me. So I am in the favor that AI is there to enhance our life.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dimanshu. Guiding said, in research, it is helping a lot. And I could see why you chose this example because you are the same graduate. So, very rightly said. Let's move on to Toastmaster Tanmay. What is your view?
Yeah, before sharing my view, I think for the audience it's important to understand what is the definition of AI. So AI definition, if you see the definition says a machine who can mimic human behavior. So it started long time back when industrial revolution started. It started with helping, enhancing repetitive work so that we can automate. And now at this point we are talking about generative AI, which can basically generate new text, make new images by predicting. The model was trained to predict next what. But now we are thinking about future, and that's where the debate or the discussion actually is happening. Now we're talking about artificial general intelligence. And what is artificial general intelligence? Artificial general intelligence means when the machine not only can replicate or mimic human behavior, that will have reasoning and cognitive power like human has. That's where the real danger is. Where all the scientists they predicted take singularity. What does it mean? That take will basically overrun everything, dominate human. People predicted it will come long later, like probably 100 years later. Now they are predicting probably it will come 10, 20 years back. So this one is full of human sapiens. We own the power. We used to dictate. We don't want to give that power to humans. So we need to be very, very intelligent, cautious here, and that's why probably you can see how OpenAI they stopped their Q-Star program. Apparently that used to be different students for their math program. So I'll stop here saying that artificial intelligence is good. So far the way we are using was useful. Now the kind of power we are seeing, we need to be very cautious, because then if we can't be cautious, then take singularity is very near. We need to be cautious about that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tanmay. So, Toastmaster Tanmay's view is very diplomatic. And right now, we are seeing all good things in artificial intelligence, but going forward, we don't know. Moving on, Toastmaster Loken, what is your view?
So the first thing I need to talk about is why are we talking about artificial intelligence now? It's been there for years, like our co-panelists discussed, and they also said it's a good thing and it's going to bring a lot of innovation and advancements in research. Then why do we need to talk about it now? Because it's the time when we have huge computing power, and the models that used to take years to run can be run in just hours. And we have seen that kind of advancement in artificial intelligence. Every commercial company is building a model that is day by day performing better than yesterday. So it's the perfect time. Second thing is it similar to any other technology? When we had apprehensions about mobile phones, or as Anu said about cars, is it going to be same? In my opinion, it's not same. The cars, the kind of disruption they were going to bring, it was mostly restricted to the employments and impacting lives. But the artificial intelligence has far-fetched impacts. That is why I, at this point, believe the path that we are taking is not right. We need to change our path. We need some regulations. We need some ethical guidelines on AI. Otherwise, the path that we are going to take will most probably lead us into the negative direction.
Thank you, Toastmaster Loken. So basically, we believe there should be regulations. Right now, there are none or very limited regulations. I would also request our panelists to not use very sophisticated language like model, machine learning, and everything. Use simple languages so that the audience can understand. I know most of the audience is from IT and corporate background, but still, let's use something that everybody can understand, even 6-year-old can understand. Moving forward, my next question is how and can AI truly transform human life? If so, how? What's your views there? How is it going to impact human life?
Yeah. So first I will talk about in the positive way how it can impact. So we all
Let's focus on positive things or not.
yeah. So we are already seeing the benefits of AI. What benefits it is bringing. So many things which could have like take days by a human can be done in minutes. Whether it's paperwork, like you have to kind of go through the lot of records and search, or just like a kind of video analysis. Like, so you have to, like police is using artificial intelligence to catch criminals. Like you have hours of video footage, CCTV footage. It's not possible for a human to sit and go through everything. So by employing artificial intelligence, you can catch the criminals in minutes. You can do all those fingerprint matching and everything. That's one benefit. You have like the insurance companies are using it for their claim settlement and keeping the records. All the driving authorities, driving license authorities, they are using the records of the people where legal records are coming. There are a lot of areas like now the call center that many teams, many companies are employing as a chatbots, conversational AI.
I would like to interrupt. Let's focus on only one benefit so that other parents can also have that chance. Also, share any benefit that you think is the most important. So, thank you, Toastmaster.
Yes.
Let's Toastmaster Dipanshu.
The best way to answer the question that if it has answered or not, I would like to put it to the audience. how many of you in the last 2 years have given speech or written an article? Most of you, for the Toastmasters, they have given speeches. For the people, you might have written an article, blog, or even a chat, WhatsApp chat on the group, right? How many of you have used ChatGPT or similar tools for doing the same? Now, will you agree that not particularly to the quality of your writing, but it has definitely increased your speed of writing? You can write much more articles now with the use of ChatGPT. And for most of us, English is not our first language. Have it occurred to you that ChatGPT, Bixby, or any other tools have increased the quality of your writing? Right? Most of us use only 100 words to talk in English. But with the help of ChatGPT, I can tell personally that I have learned, my vocabulary has expanded a lot. I didn't know the word meaning of sarcasm. I didn't know the meaning of the word sophisticated. But now, because of ChatGPT, I have started to use them. So, with this, we can say that it has enhanced service and it is continuing to do.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dipanshu, for sharing with me. Toastmaster Tanvi. One minute.
On a funny side, I also prepared or used ChatGPT to deliver my award-winning speech Saturday. Some of you probably thought it was impromptu. Yeah. So, but I had to. The real way actually, ChatGPT give you some content, but you need to show your or mix your creativity to make it better. Now, to answer your specific question, I think we need to go to the root. Root is basically where you have data, intensive data, there ChatGPT or AI can do wonder. Where it can give most benefit, I think medical is one area. I can see a lot of robotic surgery. Oncologists, they are using data to do different kind of analysis on scan so that they can pinpoint their chemotherapy to one particular point, gene therapy. So medical, because it will directly have very material impact on us, I can see. But if you allow, just given that I'm in banking, I just call out 2-3 examples also. In banking also we are seeing very good use and positive impact, like chatbot you mentioned. For fraud detection, a lot of data. Whenever you swipe your card, we leverage all the data and very real time, whether it's coming from you or fraudster or money laundering activity. And most recently we are using in Microsoft product Copilot just to summarize the minute meetings. So that would remove basically a lot of repetitive work, and you can focus basically on the creative or better value added work. That's the way I can sit in the moment.
And so Toastmaster Tanvi, again, I will reiterate, just focus on one topic so that we can cover more topics, and let's avoid reiterating what other panelists have already mentioned. Toastmaster Loki.
The key aspect that I think is transforming our lives, AI is transforming our lives, is because we can use the core aspect of being a human. We are not here to do a repetitive task every day. As a human, we always pursue creative ideas, and AI is enabling us in doing that. We are fascinated by Leonardo da Vinci, not by someone who is doing the same thing every day. So when we talk about writing a speech, we still need to give some instructions to AI. But the key idea here is we want to communicate our ideas. That will still remain same. We have to tell them, we have to tell AI what we need as an output. But none of us likes to just edit the same draft 10 times a day. So that is the aspect that is being helped here by AI. But as a human, what we value the most, the creative aspect, that we'll get more time for that. And that is how AI is enhancing our life.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Now let's talk about how AI can threaten humanity. This is something a lot of people are very much worried. The kind of advancement we are seeing in this field is really fascinating, but at the same time very dangerous as well. Toastmaster Dipanshu, one example where you think AI can threaten humanity.
What biggest disadvantage of artificial intelligence is that it can exploit the weakness we have as humans. For example, elections are going on, and believe it or not, I have read in multiple articles that your political ideology, your government already knows it because you have your YouTube, your videos you search, you can be liberal, you can be right wing, whatever your political ideology is, the government already knows. You have already seen that in 2018 election, the US election, that Trump was targeting those voters through the social media data, which already proved that these people were inclined towards his views. So this is not right in any democracy, in anywhere, because what you are doing on your phones is your own data, is your own choice. You can search anything like, there is no way any other third party or even the social media operators should have the right to see what you are doing and to exploit you for it. Now, you all must have noticed that if you have searched for a computer in Amazon, for the next 2 weeks you are only going to see the ad for the computer, right? So why does Amazon does it? You might have just did it randomly. But this is, I feel, not right because they are exploiting and they are using our data to make more money.
And the Toastmaster department, let's go to a Toastmaster location again. One second.
Yeah. So, like any other technology, of course, AI also has got some negatives. But why do we think those negatives are so important to talk about? Even mobile phones are being used by terrorists to exchange messages. But we are not talking about that. The problem with AI is that the regulations, of course. Because we do not know what a company can accomplish and the possibilities are huge. And the second thing is that there is an inherent biasness about it. The coder who is coding that sitting behind, we do not know what they are talking about. We have already had some examples when a couple of years back when Microsoft announced their AI bot on Twitter, and some of us trained it to talk like a Nazi, which was just an example that what side effects it can have, and there's no explainability behind it. Even the developer would not know how it is working in total sense, in complete sense. It will know how, someone will know how they can change it, but it's hard to explain why it is behaving in a certain way. That is creating a big negative aspect of the AI.
And Toastmaster location, moving on to Toastmaster 1 minute.
Yeah, I want to ask audience, what do you think about Terminator? Does it scare you to watch? All of you, I believe, watch the movie. Does it scare you? But it does. Why does it scare you? But it does scare not because of his superpower, but the way Terminator can think and act like human. So that's the biggest danger we are looking at. We are looking at because, as I said in the beginning, that new power, it's not only thinking about 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Now probably we are giving part slowly how human is thinking. If I can do this, then what is the next action? And given that it is trained on data and data has bias, then it will reflect to that particular machine. Right? So that's where basically I'm a bit cautious, because if you look at the data, our data is not correct. And who is creating the machine, artificial intelligence, they can have their own propaganda. They can feed different kind of data to basically manipulate and get hallucinated result. So I'm very scared of hallucinated biased result. That's where basically I think we are in the risk.
Toastmaster 1 minute. Toastmaster 1.
Yeah. The biggest threat to humanity I see from AI is getting the technology getting into hands of some rogue elements, and they are using it for their propaganda, because as Toastmaster once said that government knows everything about you. So similarly, if you have seen the movie, the Judgment movie, Tomorrow Never Dies, there was a media mogul. He pits one country against another country, and he situation that's like a world war. So that's the biggest threat, that some rogue element for his selfish interest, he might kind of take over this entire AI infrastructure and send a propaganda and pitting nations against each other, pitting humans against each other, and create a situation which we are seeing currently, like at some level we are seeing today also, that Russia is fighting Ukraine or Israel fighting Iran, all these kind of situations. That can be on a bigger scale and that can be a catastrophic for the human beings. And once it gets out of hand, there's nobody to control it.
We have established that there are both sides of artificial intelligence. It has benefits, but at the same time, it can threaten us as well. So let's talk about some of the regulations and some guidelines that should be there to avoid such scenarios in the future. Let's start with looking. You mentioned regulations. What are regulations? One.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about it, but to be honest, I don't even understand how can you even regulate it. It's not like a factory where we can set up some guidelines and they'll have to follow it. We are coding on your laptop, your server. Who am I to tell you? And even if I can tell you, how can we even make sure that we follow those guidelines? So I think that is the biggest challenge that we are facing. We don't even know how to regulate it, how to enforce those regulations. So if you are asking me to tell one thing, I cannot even tell you how to achieve that.
So you are not yet there. Toastmasters, what is your view?
I think regulators have started working on that. Very recently, both US and UK government, they recently created an institute called AI Safety Institute. They have come up with 4 principle-based approach to regulate it. Very briefly, the 4 principles are: the first is around safety and robustness, second is around fairness, third is around contestability and rate hearing, means basically people should provide their grievance, right? And the fourth is around privacy. So these are the very things, important things we should have as a foundation level, so that all the firms, it's a big thing, it's very difficult to invest on such kind of large scale activity. And what they are saying basically, if you are building foundation model, large scale model, you need to stress test and follow this 4 principles before you can roll out products to different corporates and individuals. So it's quite important. I'm quite hopeful that it will help us to save for better future.
Yes, so I would say, since AI is a great power, and as Uncle Ben and Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility. It's up to us, the leaders of the world leaders, to come up, because it's an issue which transcends across geographical boundaries, political boundaries. It affects every citizen of the world. So they should set up a world body to regulate the developments in the AI, what kind of development and how far they can go. We should not be in a situation, as mentioned in the movie Terminator, where the machines take control of the world and then they start killing the humans. So those kind of that world regulatory body should be there, and then each country should frame their regulations and laws to regulate this AI. I think that AI is a very wonderful thing. It's the best thing for a human being, but if you use with responsibility and with regulation, it can do wonders.
Like everything in life has its own strengths and weakness. With AI, I believe it's both strength and weakness is one, which is its data. So the one regulation that Indian government must follow is that all the data that we collect from all the social media must be stored in India itself. An example of that could be recently what happened was that if you use CCTV cameras at your home or at office workplaces, and if it is from a company who has data centers outside India, it's very easily hackable and they can tap into your CCTV. Right now, most of the people now, when they especially it started in corporates, that they switched to the CCTV camera companies, which have data centers in India itself. So this is one regulation that should be enforced immediately, that data should be kept within the country boundaries.
Toastmaster Dipanshu. We are done with the panel discussion. I will quickly summarize. The panel discussed and shared their views on artificial intelligence. They shared benefits and the possible negative effects of artificial intelligence as well. They also mentioned some regulations that should be there to avoid any kind of disruptions in human lives. Now it is time to invite the questions from the audience. Anybody from the audience? Any question? Yeah. Toastmaster question.
I need to ask a very common question. Do the panelists think that AI can eat up the job of common people, or like
I can answer.
level middle people mostly?
So it will eat up definitely certain jobs, but it will create basically certain other type of jobs, like the kind of thing we saw in 1980s or 90s during corporate revolution. So what will it eat up? It will eat up the regular manual job, clerical job, repetitive work, even call center maybe, because chatbot is coming. What it will create a new ecosystem around new type of AI. We get prompt engineer, we get content writer who can creatively think by taking the output from ChatGPT kind of tool, right? And people will move to high level of work, as I said, right? People will see how they can use AI/ML very creatively. So there are two parts that happen. At the bottom end, we get a lot of data curator, data analyst, right? We can create data for AI machine. And at the upper end, we find basically new set of digital leaders who know how to use AI/ML for different
So do you think that there will be a boom in the education industry? Like I have seen there are many courses launched right now, like courses on artificial intelligence, learn artificial intelligence right now. So you think that there will be a boom of such courses?
If you talk about AI/ML related courses, definitely I would see, and already we are seeing definitely boom. Whether it is in general good for education area, I think yes, because knowledge is power, and when you can use technology to summarize things for students and give access to many things, nothing like that.
Views from the panelists. Do you agree with Toastmaster examples?
Yes, so basic entry level jobs like data entry. So just to give an example, like when computers came, the banks they were increasing. Bank employees they were protesting that they take away our job. You know the system where like we used to fill some forms, we used to fill slips, do the process and everything. And after the computers came, now that everything computerized and customers are having a lot of convenience, they can access the bank. And I didn't hear any job loss due to that. So same thing like the entry level jobs like data entry operator, even the coders or the call center, that might go away, and people have to reskill, they have to find new avenues of the job. Just to ensure that if you have some creative skills, creative writing, creative like speaking, or all those things cannot be taken away from AI. So try to focus more on the creative side instead of doing mundane tasks.
Toastmaster Manu? Yes, Toastmaster.
So can you tell me what is the total net worth of AI, the AI market in the future, and how is going to help in the growth of the industry?
Toastmaster.
I did not get it.
I have the answer. I
It's a
can.
tough one.
Let's go. Toastmaster Dipanshu.
I can understand network.
Network
Yeah.
market size. So I'm sure it will be in millions of dollars, but I can't put the number here.
Yes, continue.
So there are three figures I want to quote. One, AI market is growing per year almost 37% cumulatively, right? And by 23, AI will contribute apparently almost like 16 trillion, right, dollar of output or GDP to global economy. That's the idea, right? and the side effect will be much wider. I'm talking about only contribution by like their own market. Right? So definitely, all the big 70% of global Fortune 500 companies, they have started using AI very intensively.
Toastmaster, do you also mention the programs of the organization you got this information from? These stats.
Okay, so in fact,
So that
for
the audience can-
yeah, so in fact, I googled it before coming here, and I googled it. I think Simply Learn is the site. When you first actually put exact same topic, you will find a couple of websites, and Simply Learn I found this site.
Anything from the panelist? Yes, there, Matt.
So my question is, now that a lot of work is being delegated to likes to chat media, to for speeches, and sometimes even for writing blogs, people are delegating to chat. How do you think it impacts the human brain? Because it's a known fact that the more we think and the more we kind of apply our brain, the more we evolve as human beings. But yeah.
So, if you remember, 90s when the telephone just came, he used to remember all the numbers, correct? Mobile numbers and everything. Now, if you ask, except for maybe your spouse or someone, you don't remember any other numbers because you feed it. So, that's the thing we want to avoid. We should not be too dependent on these tools, ChatGPT, that we don't push ourselves, we don't push our brains to do the work which we are supposed to do, like the creative writing. And you can't take all the speeches from ChatGPT and just speak, correct? Because you have to put your personalized, you have to make it personalized. So, as I mentioned, once you have given a speech, if it's just a kind of an academic topic, it's okay. But when you are telling a story, you have your own personal stories that nobody can take away from you. Even I tried that, okay, I put one of my topics in the speeches, get the content very good, but when you add the story, that makes things better. So don't lose your creative skills, don't...
Toastmaster Divanshu, Toastmaster Bhanu contradicted me, so would you like to add anything?
Honestly, I agree with what Toastmaster Bhanu recently on is thinking mode. So nowadays, you must have seen that someone is writing a blog or any post, it's very easy to find if it is just copied from ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is just certain words, and it is the remarkable idea of ChatGPT, because no one in their everyday language uses those words. So I feel yes, people are when a tool is get commercialized and everyone is using it, it's very easy to find out. And then the challenge also occurs, because if you have to stand out, because in Toastmasters we have speeches, and if there are 8 contestants and 6 of them have used ChatGPT and you want to stand out, you would have to do some extra work. So the idea of AI is just to streamline those things that doesn't require much brain, and to work on those things that actually matter.
We are running out of time. We'll be wrapping up the panel 1. In the next panel.
So just to add to that, use technology just to do repetitive tasks or boring tasks, but don't lose your creative skills.
Thank you. Let's have a big round of applause. Please have a seat. So we'll limit it to 3-4 questions at max, because we have 2 more panelists going forward. You can have water if you want. We'll start in 2 minutes. The second panel.
All the best. Good job. Good morning.
request Toastmaster Abhishek to share the voting link. I will request everyone to vote so that we can decide the winner at the end. We do not have QR code, so I will request Toastmaster Abhishek to share it on the WhatsApp group as well, guest group as well as in yes, it is shared with the EC group. Let me have. I would request everyone to do vote. If you do not have link, just let me know.
There is no link.
It will be shared. It is not shared. Ma'am, sir, you can sit in front of that. You will be involved. We have an chairs here. Is the voting link?
Yes.
Yeah. You can vote during the panel discussion as well for the panel 1. Moving on, it's time to invite panel 2. And the topic for panel 2 is the future of work, adapting to changing workplace dynamics. The future of work from home, work from office, or what kind of changes we'll see. Let's invite our first panelist. He's someone who joined in April 2023. He's currently working as HR professional with leading automobile company. His hobbies include reading, running, and playing with his kids. Let's welcome Toastmaster Babu. The second panelist is someone who joined in October 2023. She is currently working as an HR professional. She has done science and management. She is actually science and management graduate, and her hobbies include gardening and home interiors. Toastmaster Nidhi. Let's welcome her. The third panelist is someone who joined in February 2022. Very experienced Toastmaster. He has done BTech. He is currently working as product manager in Policy Bazaar. It should be insurance or something. His hobbies include watching movies with family. Toastmaster Abhishek.
Don't blame me for getting so many calls from others.
Now our final and the fourth panelist is someone who joined in January 2023. He has done BTech. He is currently working as a business intelligence professional. His hobbies include traveling, cycling, singing, and dancing. All rounder. Toastmaster Ankit. I think I'm going to allow for the panel. As I mentioned, the topic for panel 2 would be the future of work, adapting to changing workplace dynamics. Without further ado, let's directly jump into very trivial question, your views. Toastmaster Baru.
First, let us understand where we are right now and where we are coming from. As it is being said that we are on the verge of witnessing Industry 4.0. That is the fourth industrial revolution we are seeing actually. So first revolution we have had earlier in probably 1770 when this industry revolution first started. When this mechanical machines started production, we have both steam and power, steam and water. Then came around after 100 years, 90 years or so, the second industrial revolution, which was
mass production when Ford and General Motors set up huge assembly lines and started producing cars for masses. Then third, what we also got from the previous panel, when this IT revolution in 1970 started, around 100 after 100 years of second revolution. Now again, we are on the cusp of next revolution, which is in the form of emerging technologies like we heard AI, IoT, Internet of Things, virtual reality, augmented reality. So we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg, and huge things are just to happen with the advent of these technologies. And with every revolution, we have seen changes in cultural shift, legal landscape, societal change, and every revolution has changed the way we were working. So initially there were a lot of manual jobs, then when this mass production came up, a lot of documentation, checklist kind of mode happened, then computer came, all the typewriters went away, then we were on the computers with the help of internet, it made our job a bit easy. Then again with the help of technology, the workplace we are going to have, what we are having right now, especially post-COVID, is we can all witness is changing, and changing very rapidly.
I would like to interrupt Toastmaster Varun. Let's see your allocated time. Toastmaster Nidhi.
So I agree what Toastmaster spoke about, that how the world is changing and how the industrializations are actually changing. But I think for us, we've seen the biggest change or transformation since pandemic. Pandemic actually changed the way we've been working. And it was not just specific to geography, but across the globe. Having said that, the pandemic is behind us, but we still are seeing a lot of disruptions around the world. So we talk about, geopolitical tensions, turmoils, war across various countries, we are seeing that. Inflation is a big challenge that we are seeing. The focus on return to work, office, hybrid working is something which is of late come up, especially after pandemic. We're also seeing a very special focus on inclusion, diversity, and how the workplace itself is changing. So, and also with a lot of global countries going through the elections this year. So I think the disruption is here to stay. And with that, if organizations need to stay ahead and be competitive, they need to evolve their workforce strategies as well. And hence the future of workforce is ever evolving and ever dynamic that we have seen in many past years.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nidhi. So just to summarize, Toastmaster Varun touched upon the industrial revolutions that we had and how it impacted our day-to-day life, the work environment, and how it is going to impact going forward. And Toastmaster Nidhi touched upon COVID, which actually disrupted the work dynamics and the organizations, how they are adjusting their way of working. Toastmaster Abhishek.
So, just I will look around the last 10 years, like from 2015 till now, 2024. A huge evolution in the work space we have witnessed. Here, the hybrid, remote work, like before pre-COVID, but never we have seen or haven't have here how. But today, hybrid is becoming common in the work space, especially in the corporate world. And especially if I look at the remote jobs, that also becoming common. 8 to 12, more than 12% of the jobs that are there in the globe in the corporate world are working in the remote side. Along with this, a new changes we have also witnessed over here that impacting the people lives. That is the layoff. Pre-COVID, layoff was not common in the workspace. Post-COVID, the layoff become common. Even the Google has fired thousands of people last year. And if I go to the balance sheet, with the Google, which is one of the big giants in the corporate world, have been doing the layoff. So you can find out and the people who are in the Google are exceptionally well, as we know.
But you can find out still they are getting laid off. We say that the job is insecure. So insecurity is coming to the workspace that everyone are witnessing. And adding to that, people in the and people in this work in the entire life span have become and their life is becoming somewhere unconscious and somewhere I can say like I can say more to they are devoting towards the work to get to save their jobs.
Abhishek, I would like to interrupt. Let's focus on one major point and highlight things. Let's revolve it around single point of discussion. Toastmaster.
So the topic is future of work and changing work dynamics, right? So I look at it in a very positive way, in a very optimistic way, and I'll tell you why. So how many of you have this remote work? Is anyone working remotely?
Fully remote.
Hybrid. Hybrid, yes. So do you guys like it? Like, can you raise your hand if you like it? So I work fully remote in my current job, and from last year I've been working totally remote. My office is in Bangalore, and before that I used to go to the office every single day, 6 days a week. So I could see a great amount of shift, and it's a very positive shift. The collaboration with different teammates is way better in this one. Even when I used to go to the office, the collaboration was not that much because some people are in other office. It's very difficult to get hold of them. So the future is right here. That's what I believe. The collaboration is way better now than it was before. And also I'm saving a lot of money. I used to commute to the work. So that is a very positive thing. There are a lot of technical things as well, but looking as an employee, if I'm looking at it, these are the things that I could see is a very positive things. And my belief is, and my point of view is that it is a very positive change which is happening right now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. So, Toastmaster Ankit's view is that it has impacted our life in a positive way. Toastmaster Abhishek, you mentioned about layoffs and everything. Do you agree with Toastmaster Ankit's views?
Yeah, I do agree with the coming new revolution in the workspace. Because we become more comfortable, our life become more comfortable. People are now going to the hill and doing the work from home or remote job. But at the same time, we look around, there is a gap in the communication has happened. Like if I look today, if I want the remote job during the COVID, when I joined the policy budget, I don't know apart from 2 or 3 people. But if I look today, I know around more than 100 people in our company. At the same time, the hybrid has really very positive aspect. In the hybrid, we can spend time with our families members. The time we are getting a lot of time to spend, and so to look out on our passion that we have. We are now working on our passion because of the hybrid culture that having been blessed, and I can say this is just a blessing for us that the hybrid culture has come into the picture. So a very positive aspect has been seen on. But at the same time, as you know, pointing out the layoff, this become a common today. The layoff, the company are looking from the self perspective more. Like as I mentioned, like big corporate giant and the startup, how they are just laying off the people. Also, somewhere making people nervous and unconcentrated in the work. As people, I look on these people who are getting a good amount of salary and also at a very well positioned in the company are suffering. Are somewhere they have to
Toastmaster Abhishek. Let's revolve around the topic and let's touch upon only one aspect at a time. Present value or do not agree and accordingly share your view. Now coming back to the topic, COVID-19 pandemic, it has actually impacted our lives. What long-lasting impact do you see, Toastmaster Ankit?
So like you mentioned that COVID has actually changed the way not just organizations work with respect to remote collaboration, and now after and yet, because 60% of the people who are surveyed by HBR say that they see the benefits of working from home with respect to cost and other stuff. So there's a balance that organizations are trying to now create. But having said that, we've also seen the way most of the geographies and their demographics are changing. So for example, there are developed economies like US and Japan who are seeing the aging population, and then we have India, which is a very young country, or China with high population. So the demographics are also in a way shaping up the future of work after pandemic. And during the pandemic, we saw that because of home care responsibilities, especially a lot of women worked out of workforce to start up their own, venture. So we are seeing that gig economy, part-time, entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, all of these have also picked up after COVID, because people are realizing they need more flexibility at work. And hence the new models of employment have now developed. We are also seeing organizations, like my own organization, we are working towards creating more inclusive policies. We've introduced sabbatical, we've introduced flexi working, part-time and job sharing. So some of these, the way the dynamics of work is changing and how the overall demographics are behaving after especially pandemic, we're seeing the change in the policies that are being adopted by the organizations to keep the talent more attractive and also obviously how to retain them.
Toastmaster Nidhi, could you summarize and give one long-lasting impact? I actually did not get you mention a lot of things. One long-lasting impact of COVID-19, just in a line.
Yeah, so Toastmaster Rahul, there can't be one long-lasting impact. Like I said, that this is the world is changing at a speed we have never seen before. So a couple of things, like I said, hybrid working is here to stay, because organizations are realizing that remote plus coming together to meet people, to his example, to know people who joined in the pandemic is here to stay, so hybrid is going to stay. Different models.
So there are many examples, but you mentioned hybrid model. It is going to stay. That is the data from your view. Toastmaster Varun, one long-lasting impact apart from hybrid model.
I come to that part, but let me differ with my friends. Remote working, hybrid working is all fine, and I think it is very industry specific and job specific. For IT industry, it may be true that you are working on the remote location, working from home, but the industry I am in, which is the large manufacturing setup, where we are assembling cars, we have to be physical there to assemble those cars. So in our case, even during peak COVID, we were working in the factory and helping assemble those cars. So it is very job specific and industry specific. Second one, lasting impact COVID had on organization, I would say on health and wellness. Before COVID, it was not even in the priority list of the organization. Today, if I see my organization, special focus is given on the health as well as wellness. So it may be physical health and mental health. So we are seeing this drastic change on this one aspect. So you will have regular sessions with industry experts, with doctors. You will have your annual health checkup. There was spousal are also included, and your manager will actually be following it up with you. Have you gone for the annual health checkup? Then we are giving extra leave that people could go to health checkup. Then personalized wellness programs. Now we are living in the world which is also known as money, which is brittle, anxious, non-linear. Okay, so the anxiety post-COVID is increasing among employers. Abhishek was also mentioning that a lot of percentage layoffs are happening. So that wellness, that mental wellness program are also being facilitated for employees. So this is the point that is a lot of work.
Toastmaster Varun, Toastmaster and one long-lasting impact.
the long-lasting impact, I think, is a holistic development of the people, because I think the companies, even the public listed company, whatever it is, however big or however small it is made by the people. If there's a work-life balance, if there's a kind of satisfaction that people have, that company is definitely going to prosper. For example, I'll give you my own example. From last 1 year, I have tried a lot of my hobbies that I wanted to do even since I graduated from my college. But I never had time to pursue them. So the thing is, from last year I'm pursuing them, like learning guitar is one of them. So right now I'm having time to pursue all of these things. In my last tenure, it was mainly work and work, and after that I used to get completely exhausted. And these repetitive jobs are anyways going to be taken over by AI, as our last panel discussed. So there is no point of just doing repetitive things. We should be focusing on developing ourselves holistically as a person, pursue whatever hobbies we have. And I think hopefully if someone is having, just a hobby for cooking, he can open a restaurant as well. So once he gets laid off from Google, he can pursue that hobby full time. So that's what my perspective is.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Abhishek.
So the learning, I can say, from the COVID is flexible and learn to survive. Like during the COVID, we have learned how to survive. Like we have, like I never been in the room from the last 2 months. I went in a room or a flat during the COVID period, and we all have, that time, and we all learn how to survive in that moment. So that is something we have learned, and also we learn is the flexibility. We should be very much flexible to ourselves. Like at that 2 months we are in the lockdown mode, how we should be learn to survive and flexible to know the world in different perspectives. We are getting good amount of time to look around the world, understand how the world is there, what other set of people are there in the world, what are the different passions people are following. That we have get to learn from there at that time, and the flexibility that we are now open to different set of works in the world.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. We got to skills. Now moving on, Toastmaster Ankit mentioned remote work, Toastmaster Nidhi mentioned hybrid model, and Toastmaster Varun mentioned that it depends on the organizations you are part of. As an organization, how do you manage this disruption? You have remote work, you have hybrid model, you have in-person, the employees have to visit the office. How as an organization, like manage all these things? What is the best way? What should be done? Toastmaster, let's start with Toastmaster. They mentioned remote work. Is the remote work used?
So there is something called the 80-20% rule. There is a book on it as well, I think. So it says that 20% of what we do derives the 80% of the results. So I think that is what organization should be focusing on, because focusing on managing workplace itself is a very, very big task. So moving this thing out of the way, they can totally focus on what they can do well. So just focus, if a company is into finance, then focus on finance. Don't try to manage your workplace, of how we are going to manage the air conditioning, how we manage that budget. Move that out of the way and focus on how you are going to give a good competition to your competitors, about your cost positions, about every other things. And move this thing out of the way. That's what my belief is.
And you, Toastmaster Ankit, it seems like you don't want to go to the office.
Yes, I don't want to go to the
Toastmaster Abhishek.
So my view over there is up to the employer and the company. Like there are different set of company. Like there are the manufacturing set of company, there are the construction company are there. Then we have the set of IT work. So all have different and like where we need the people to be on the ground. Like if I look around the construction company, the manufacturing side, we need the people, and they have a different set of culture are there. Like coming to work over there. In the IT side, we know that it can be hybrid and the remote.
So based on the company decision, whether the company feel to be more efficiency and effective working over there, you can take it to the, I can say, to the remote or the hybrid model. If I just pointing out one example, Misho was fully on the remote for the last 2 years. But they found out their efficiency has gone down, they removed that. And so it can up to the company, like they found the efficiency, how the efficiency of the company going on, whether it is remote or hybrid or the work from home office. So like my company is usually on the work from home, compulsory work from office. They found that their efficiency has gone down. So it's up to the company how they look around. The company also look on their own set of profit and loss also, and how to run the entire profit, because they have a lot of like 5,000 people, and also
Toastmasters, your idea is like if the efficiency is going down, the organization has to see their business and accordingly be judging whether they want the employees to come to the office or do remote, or it depends on the productivity and the business laws and profits. Toastmasters.
So I think from my perspective it is to have fit for purpose policies in the organizations. And coming to an example that although their organizations are adopting for 3 days or 2 days depending on what they want to keep, and even in industries wherein it has to be 100%, whether it's a banking sector, it's a sales job, or it's the industry that Toastmasters spoke about. But I think it's fit to purpose, because like I mentioned that the demographics of the worker itself is changing. We are seeing many generations coming together and working in the same setup. And then we also see that there are stages of life. So for example, maternity and paternity leaves, when the time of stage comes for a person, they would need more flexibility and hence maybe more work from home than to come together. So organizations, from my perspective, should really move towards fit for purpose policies, so that they cater to the large set of the workforce coming across various generations and cater to the various needs that they have. That will definitely help them to continue to stick to their top talent, retain them, and also be able to act as an employee value proposition, as we say, to be able to attract more talent in the workforce.
I would second to Toastmaster Nidhi. One size does not fit all. So depending on your organization demography, you need to make policies. And while making those policies, your leadership mindset and flexibility matters. In our case, we are a huge organization, and it is basically divided into 3 major parts. One is we have huge manufacturing plants. We have a lot of worker level population is working, and which is there in huge numbers. So it is unionized plus flexible. Second is we also have R&D division, which is like any IT company. So people working there, engineers working there are totally different from the people working at the shop floor. So the third is we have huge sales and marketing channels. So those sales channels where we are doing MBAs, so their mindset, their requirement, their needs, their wants are totally different from people working in plant and R&D center. So we need to have policy catering to every set of employees working in different verticals. So sales people will want more flexibility in roaming around, from work from home, for mobility and connectivity. People working at the shop floor, they will have other kind of requirement like canteen, transport, and hygiene at the shop floor when they are working masters. And R&D, their requirement is totally different, like remote working, 5-day working, fun after the work, and engagement is totally different. So I would say it is depending on the demography that is there and the leadership mindset to be flexible in order to have those policies which will cater to different demography.
Quickly, I'll summarize the things we discussed. The panelists share their views and what are the disruptions that are happening, the remote work, hybrid model, and the office work that are there, and it time for the audience questions. Toastmaster Kritika.
I have a question from Toastmaster Ankit. I agree with what Toastmaster Nidhi said, but Toastmaster Ankit focused on entire remote work too much. So what do you think from an employee perspective, forget about the employer perspective, from an employee perspective, do you think it is making very much sense if you have entirely remote work? Will employee be able to make connects with different people in the organization? There is issue with visibility or maybe connections with informal connections. Obviously, formally you will have to attend a meeting online, but informal connections plus mental and health issues.
Keep it short.
What do you think about it?
Toastmaster Ankit.
So what I can understand, you're trying to say that if I'm not working on site, then there is disadvantage of maintaining connects.
Maintaining connects as well as you are sitting alone at home every time in front of a laptop.
So I gave the answer from the employee's perspective. Let me just give you an answer from macro perspective. So let's talk about Bangalore. There is no water. It is overpopulated. Rent is very, very high. I've lived there for 2 weeks. There is no advantage as such. If someone is living there, I mean, obviously he wants to live there, then definitely they can live. But if the infrastructure itself is not, is not meant to just support such a large population which is staying there. So my perspective is that if you really want to make a connect in your field, in your industry, then you can also stay in some other place, like the adjoining place. Maybe you can travel to the place once a week or something like that. And I can definitely get you, it is very important to get exposure in the early years, early 3-4 years of our, the experience. So I'm definitely getting you. So for first 3-4 years, I definitely believe someone should be doing a full-time job, on-site job. But after then, they can choose to shift to their hometown and get a full-time remote work.
Toastmaster Ankit, sir, you were asking.
I have a similar question regarding the connect. That if the top management is not seeing you, your boss is not seeing you, then at the time of hiring and firing, a person who is not get connected, he is very easy task because you do not have any connect with them.
So my boss sits in UK. So if I have to work on site, I'm ready. They are willing to pay for me to go there, but the company itself don't want me there. So
it is not just your question. It is the question of industry. Means if we are working from home,
So
then it becomes difficult to have
the
connections.
remote work, what you are getting to do, that you are connecting to the entire world. So now you can, as a manager who are working in the UK. So you are connecting to the entire world. You can now not looking for the Indian job only. You are looking for the
Because
global
we are not
job based on your talent.
we are not going together. We are not having chit chat.
Let's move on to another question which is open-ended question, like it will be difficult to get proper answer. Toastmaster Jinder.
So I have a question from Abhishek. So he cited that the company's efficiency has gone down. It may happen that what the company thought was parts. The report can be generated as per his wish. It is not as per the independent auditor. So if independent survey is there, maybe results will be different. That also we can say.
Toastmaster Abhishek, when you give the
I think he made a statement.
Okay,
I have a question.
You did not ask any question. Yeah. Toastmaster.
Yeah, so I'll ask you a question, but before on lighter note, you are missing office romance and you are saying
Please ask the questions.
I'm bringing you one.
It's fine. It's fine.
But a serious topic.
Yeah.
So from employer perspective, my question is basically anyone can pick up. It's from
Can you
employer
focus
perspective.
on Toastmaster Nidhi and Varun if possible?
Okay, this is the question for Nidhi.
Yeah.
While Varun, if possible. So question is from employer perspective, how you can check on employee who is working from home on productivity, particularly where moonlighting is in lights?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So now it's very debatable also because there are IT softwares which are available which can actually check your productivity. Or IT at one point in time had actually imposed that, but then the second point of view was that it was tracking using Gen AI so much that even if somebody was taking a short break for not feeling well and gone to medical room, it was showing as a not productive report. So then the deliberate decision was to sort of pull it out. But my perspective again is that ultimately it's the culture of trust that needs to come in the organization. We don't want people to be seen through cameras or productivity enhancement tools and create that sense of fear, because ultimately the relationship is a symbiotic relationship, right? And unless there's a culture of trust in the organization, we can't expect productivity. So we should leave people to deliver their best. However, the controls need to be enhanced, which means that we need to have more empowered leaders and line managers to be able to have that conversation on a regular basis, rather than IT checking on this.
Lighting was a real problem post-COVID, and we have seen some of the biggest companies firing employees for moonlighting, meaning dual employment, people being in the one organization working for the other. So it is an actual problem, but you can't actually put cameras on everyone. It's the process you build around the deliverables and people that will actually give you the checkpoints. So
let's wrap up the panel discussion. Thank you. Please have a seat. I will request everyone to vote so that we can decide the winner. We have, I think, a lot of the audience had a lot of questions, but because of the timing issue, we could not incorporate a lot of questions. 2-minute break, then get started with the third panel. Please do vote so that we can decide the winner and the good list. You can submit at once or in multiple times if it's up to you. Okay, let's get started. Get started with the third panelist.
And I think those were a dancer.
He said.
I think
He said all wrong.
Singing is fine because he has full time, right? Doesn't need to go to office.
That's why.
That's why he's regularly.
Please, let's get started with third panel. I would first like to invite someone who joined in December 2022. She has done CA and currently working at PwC India. Her hobbies include running, watching web series, and content writing. Toastmaster, it got the immediate past president. The second panelist is someone who joined in June 2023. She is currently a student doing BA Economics and Commerce. Her hobbies include dancing and reading. Toastmaster Khushi. Third panelist is someone who joined in May 2022. He has done BTech and done MBA. He is working as manager in Maruti Suzuki India. His hobbies include reading and learning new things. Toastmaster Harjinder. The fourth panelist is someone who joined in February 2023. He has done BTech. He is currently working as data analyst. His hobbies include reading books, listening to music, and going for walk. Toastmaster Anurag. For the third panel, the topic is climate change, exploring sustainable solutions for a greener future. Climate change. Let's directly jump on to the views from the panelists. Toastmaster Kritika, what is your view?
Climate change is actually the concern of the hour, and it just comes in the talk too much when Earth Day comes nearby. So it was on 22nd April, and that is why recently we have been hearing a lot about climate change. Having said that, climate change is actually affecting us in our day-to-day lives also nowadays, and we are able to see the effect very naturally. Like, for example, it was said in the last panel, Bangalore has water problems, and it's just happening because of the difference of scarcity and abundance. At some places there is too much of rainfall, and at some places there is no rainfall. It's also the reason of because of population shift. At some places like Bangalore is having population shift. That is why. And in fact, at some places of Bangalore, there is no water problem, and at some places of Bangalore, which are IT hubs and etc. Those places are having those problems. So we are witnessing the changes now in our day-to-day lives, while it has been having creating effects from long time. Having said that, Asia and it's a problem of the entire world. Asia is one of the most prone area which is facing this issue of climate change. The biggest countries which are contributing to this is China. India is one among them also. And yes, towards the sustainable solutions, I think we are moving towards, at least now we have knowledge how we can move towards a sustainable solution. And there are a lot of sustainable solutions like green power, solar energy, etc., non-fossil fuels.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kritika. Toastmaster Kushi.
So, climate change. First, the question is, what is climate change? Climate change refers to long-term shift in our Mother Earth regarding to temperature. We are experiencing obviously the coldest winter and now the hottest summers. So earlier it was because of volcanic eruptions or activity of sun, but after 18s it is mostly by human activities like burning coal and taking your own car everywhere instead of using public transports. And when we burn coal, there are gases released that are known as greenhouse gases, which go into the environment and make our earth hotter and hotter. So these are my views about climate change. It was a minimum definition.
Thank you for Toastmaster Kushi. So Toastmaster Kritika touched upon the scenarios that we are already seeing the effects of climate change, and Toastmaster Kushi touched upon some of the reasons that are there which are causing climate change. Toastmaster Kushi.
So as my panel discussed, that we are already experiencing climate change effects. Like our Earth has the temperature has rise from 1.1 degree from 1800s. So it is main driver of this change is human activities, and it is predicted that if this climate change is not reversed, we may witness around 3 degrees of temperature increase with respect to 1800 levels. So, as for a sustainable growth, we need to control it to up to 1.5 degree change with respect to 1800 levels. If we can do that, it will be good for our future generations. But to do that, we need to show our government should show the willingness to work. First is willingness to work. Only setting expectation will not work. Our leaders, our governments should be willing to work on this climate change.
Toastmaster Ravinder, Toastmaster Anka.
So, as Toby mentioned that what are the sustainable changes or activities that we can take to improve climate change. So, all of my panelists already explained you about the issues of climate change.
that we can take to improve climate change. And I personally believe that climate change, as Kushi mentioned, is more due to greenhouse gases, emission of greenhouse gases. So the changes or sustainable changes that we can take is to reduce those greenhouse gases emission, and it could be through multiple things. Few are like changes the way we are getting energy, as Kritika mentioned, like solar energy, wind energy, and some hydroelectric energy power plant. So from the way we are getting energy from coal mines and all, so this can be reduced and moving to these energy emitting things. Also, second thing I think is about optimizing existing systems which are emitting greenhouse gases. So if we are able to improve the industries, specifically manufacturing and production industries, if we make them more efficient, then it would also help us in reducing the amount of greenhouse gases that they are emitting, and also reducing, also improving transportation, moving to more electric and yeah.
Now, Toastmaster Kritika mentioned one of the example where we are actually struggling with water scarcity in Bangalore. Toastmaster Kritika, any other examples? Can you focus on one more example you can share?
One more is maybe, for example, if we say entirely for India, I just said that as per World Meteorological Report, it is on an average 87 centimeter of rainfall is we are getting. But the difference of rainfall, at some places it is just flooding, and at some places it is not. It's not raining. That is a way.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kritika. So we are very rightly said. Toastmaster Kushi, would you like to share one example?
I want to share the current example. Like now we are staying in Gurgaon. I sometimes wonder that why is it raining on such a sunny day? Why is it not raining when it's actually the rainy seasons? And the most appropriate example we have seen by which is Dubai. They interrupted the climate. They tried to do artificial rain, and we have seen the results. This is also going to be in the future, so we should not interrupt the climate. That is one most appropriate example I see.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kushi. This is again very recent phenomena that we observe. Toastmaster
So I think rising sea levels. So sea levels are rising because of melting glaciers, and there are a lot of seashore areas where these places will be submerged, and this population will be forced to shift. And this shift in migration is also again creating greenhouse effects, because as the population is moving towards more cities, and in the cities again we need to make houses also, and for those houses also we need steel also, and again we are demanding for products which are again creating greenhouse gases. So to reverse that, we need to think of more sustainable solution, that we should stop migration also, and we should be focusing more about forestation, increasing forest area, so that temperature rise is decreased. As per Sarita has done.
Let's not focus on the solution as of now. Just one example, Toastmaster Anurag.
Example for climate change.
Yeah, the effect of climate change.
As I already mentioned, like the three main categories where I have categorized. Like if you can see, the climate is not the way it is today, 20 or 30 years back, let's say. 30 years back, and this is because I think less vehicle on roads, and industries were also not that much evolved. Their production is of certain number of products they are manufacturing. Now they are 10x of the previous number. So I think because of this advancement in industries and transportation system, number of more cars on road. So as I already mentioned that these, if we reduce, if we make them more efficient, and if we like improve them, then this would lead to put us back in time, 30 years back, by reduce the emission of greenhouse gases.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anurag. Now let's talk about some of the solutions. Everybody knows about renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, or hydroelectric power. How do you think this renewable energy sources can help us tackle some of the challenges that we're facing? Let's start with Toastmaster.
So first is by using renewable energy resources, we can reduce the consumption of coal in power plants. So if we are reducing the consumption of coal in power plants, we are reducing carbon dioxide, which is the main greenhouse gas. So it will also
I would like to add to Toastmaster Rajinder's point that with using renewable energy, what we can do is using more public transport. Instead of using our own cars, we can use more public transport so that we will emission less gases. Another one is turning off lights and fans when they are not in use. Nowadays, central ACs or things like these are being used and they are really great. Another point can be, there can be many points that can be made. Another one is to teach your child to use, like I have seen many ads in which a father was driving a car and the son said, "Father, I will buy bicycles in future." And he said, "But why? Don't you want to earn?" And he said, "But there will be no petrol left for me, right?" So we should consider these things for our children also. Well, I don't have that, but you should.
Solution, though I already gave three strong solutions, but still there are more solutions. And one thing that I think we, all of us, can contribute to this, because improving like vehicle transport system is not in our hand, or improving industry is not in our hand. As an individual, but we can contribute to this, or we can take out it as an actionable, I think, is reforestation. You can plant one tree around your or a plant in your home. So this is also a small step contributing to improve the number of plants around you. And reforestation, as it is proven in some studies, that it will help us in improving the air around us. So because of that, I think this is a actionable solution we can think of.
So yeah, adding to all the solutions, one solution which we may implement ourselves as well is recently there are many people have started introducing and installing a small solar panel which can be installed on the terrace as well of a building. So maybe we can start doing that so that as much as possible at least we can contribute to reduce normal electricity sources and shift to solar sources with that. At least it can cater to 3-4 floors of electricity with solar panels and one more thing which is very implementable is moving to architectures where natural cooling systems are built in. Like recently, I think if you have seen in Shark Tank, there was a company Coolant. I'm not advertising them, but I just like the solution that yes, they were using natural systems to cooling systems in their architecture, so that it's just a pot to normal pottery which we think, and using those solutions that will reduce the usage of AC at least.
And Toastmaster, now final question. Let's say you have supreme power in the country. Okay? Just in one line, one rule or law that you will implement for tackling the climate change issue. as a you have supreme power, so you can directly, without any legislation and everything, you can just implement. Let's start with Toastmaster. Just in one line.
I would like to
in one line or two.
Thanks. So, what I personally think that if we put more taxes on companies that are emitting a lot of pollution, and tax should also, like there are some slabs, if certain company is emitting this much amount of CO2 or greenhouse gases, then your like that company is in this slab. So I would like to make such slabs for the company so that they are focusing on improving their system and making them more efficient so they can reduce their taxes.
So your possible solution would be to add more tax depending on the carbon emission from the industry. Toastmaster Harjinder.
So if I see that agriculture also as a whole, agriculture industry or union of farmers, agriculture as a sector is producing more methane gases than they're giving the oxygen by planting the crops. So how we can change this agriculture pattern so that they consume less energy, and if they are using harvester or their mechanical equipments, they all should be eco-friendly. Basically, they should use sustainable energy resources.
So in the agriculture department, we want them to use sustainable and less emitting machineries. Toastmaster Kushi.
The most important thing is awareness. As I can see climate change here also. I was expecting a very attentive audience, but I can see sleepy faces. So the most important thing is to aware yourself and all the connection. You can just go and plant a tree. You can tell your children again to plant a tree. And as Albert Einstein said that the earth will not be destroyed by the evils, but it will be destroyed by the people who do not do anything, just they are asleep. So you should create awareness and do something for it instead of just.
So you want to create the awareness. Toastmaster Deepika.
As a supreme power, maybe I will make it more easy for implementation of renewable energy sources. Like I work with clients who are into renewable energy sector, and I know how many levels of approvals are required till now for setting up, and only big players are able to do that because it needs huge amount of money as well as huge amount of contacts and approvals which are required. So maybe more government incentives, more government grants which will enhance for setting up solar plants, setting up wind farms, setting up moving to more non-fossil fuel energies.
Toastmaster Deepika, quickly summarize. So they share their views on climate change. There are obviously effects. I'll come to the questions. They touched upon the climate change that we are seeing and possible solutions that can be implemented to tackle those issues. Now moving on to the questions. Toastmaster, looking into this one.
So we have talked about
You
a
can
lot of
choose one of the
solutions. Anyone can answer.
Okay.
But why are most of our solutions for poor people or poor countries only, while we know the per capita consumption of fossil fuels in developed countries is much higher?
Would you like to jump in and answer?
It's not about any specific country. It's what I read about is the top 7 countries include China, India, USA, European Union, Russia. So it's not about any small or poor country. USA, it's not a poor country. It doesn't come in. So it comes. The solutions are required for all the countries equally, and some of the big companies have already started working on those solutions, and India is one of them. But yeah, it's required for all
Taking
the
transportation example, that is for poor people. The rich are taking chartered planes. There is never a talk about that.
That is for everyone to use public transport. Or maybe
Yes,
How to solve the environment versus development dilemma?
Environment versus
Development.
dilemma. Yeah, we are talking about that only, that we should let the coal and other fossil fuels inside the earth only, and we should move to more renewable resources, like we talked
No,
about
I
wind,
meant
solar energy.
so like we have to develop infrastructure in hilly areas. We have to cut forests because to provide employment to people there. How to solve that dilemma? Whether we should.
If you are cutting, maybe I think your point is somewhere maybe the people who live in the forest or the tribal people.
Hills.
Government has to, while implementing the solutions, government has to also take care of the rehabilitation of those people. At least they should get proper facilities what they were already getting. So it's a win-win situation which they
can plant more trees, or maybe can identify area where forest the decreasing number of trees can be planted over there, so that is the area.
Give you an option of being a supreme power. How has supreme power to create the awareness in the country, in a diverse country like India? Everybody knows, I mean, I think the second question.
So first is, I think, let's say Toastmaster question answer.
Yeah, I was talking about awareness. I think people know, but they are not ready to take a step further. This discussion will end here only, and I need you guys to take a step further. You can tell in the schools, to tell your teacher. You can in offices we can help these type of group discussions on climate changes. And there are very big nations like United Nations. They are also taking a step.
So I would like to add here one point that, for example, in India, we are more focused about waste management. So that is also very important. If we are recycling or upcycling things, so if we can educate, so to educate that, we need to change mindset of people. I have also seen that by all landlord also is innovating to change this segregation. He is fighting waste
Solutions to plant this much,
adding
which
to
are
the
very,
why
very
question
short.
is also to your question. Currently, there is election scenario. None of the political parties, any of the political parties, no one has been saying anything on this. So, political awareness of anything is the most important point which needs to be raised, at least for climate change. No, none of the political parties are saying, and I'm not favoring anyone, but that is the reason awareness will be built. If the political parties also raise this point as a solution.
Let's change the question. One final question.
Well, panel talked about renewable resources and how we increase their usage. What is the or opinion of the panel of reducing the plastic consumption? And what about the tons of plastic that has accumulated over the years?
So plastic issue.
I would like to.
Toastmaster and would you like to?
You have two questions. First is about reducing plastic consumption, and second is about how we can like decompose or do something with existing plastic. So for first question, I would say that there are some development is happening around. Either we are using paper bags, and also there is some like decomposable paper bags are companies are working on it, so that if these bags are circulated in the market, then there might be cases of plastic reduction after using those paper bags. Also for second thing, I think there is need of innovation where we can find a way to utilize the existing plastic. One thing that I have seen in a video is they are using it for making roads. They are using existing plastic and mixing it, sprinkle around while making a plastic road. So charcoal road. So I think this could be one of the
I would
use
like
cases.
to add to his points. I think that this is not just a one-day task. I have seen many companies doing this, like McDonald's has changed their straws from plastic to reusable one, decomposable one. And I think there are many new startups that are also coming up. Like I have seen one, Uncle Scrap. They come and take your stuff, which they can reuse, and you can sell them at good prices. That will promote the consumer awareness as well.
Thank you.